It's an all-out monster mash. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and in this installment of Versus, we're setting up a creature feature showdown between two of history's most infamous nightmares, the zombie and the vampire. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. Round 1. Mythology.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Zombies have taken many different forms over the years, but the archetypal idea of the zombie can trace its origins back to Haiti and West Africa, where legend has it, they're dead bodies that have been magically reanimated, usually through voodoo or necromancy, that are then set to serve the will of their masters. Haitian zombiedom is likely rooted in the country's history of slavery as brought over from Africa, with the traditional zombie linked to the body's trapped soul, as opposed to pop culture's more common zombie infections.
Zombies! Please, Lise, they prefer to be called the living impaired.
Although we can see a strong connection to zombie or zombie-like culture within Haiti, Africa, and Britain, nearly every culture seems to have some form of vampire within its folklore. Indeed, the vampire seems to predate even recorded history, with oral folk tales of creatures like Romania's Strigoi, the biblical figure of Lilith, and the Lamia of ancient Greece becoming legends. These vampire myths were often created by these cultures to deal with the mystery of death, as these creatures aren't always undead, but usually consumed the blood of the living as part of their horrific existence. The sheer multitude of vampire origin stories and their permeation into worldwide cultures throughout history means that these beasts draw first blood on our list. Winner, vampire.
Did any of that actually get in your mouth? Because I mean, now, shoot, no wonder y'all is hungry all the time.
Round 2, movies and TV.
So, what do?
I'm a vampire.
There's no shortage of zombie-related entertainment on both the big and the small screens. Whether it's The Walking Dead, Zombieland, or World War Z, the matter of the undead has resulted in serious financial success, fueled by an audience rabid for some content. Of course, this isn't even taking into account George A. Romero's genre-defining zombie films, which utilized the zombie as a metaphor for real-world conditions like consumerism and classism.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
If we can take away anything from Romero's work, it's that the zombie can be used to make audiences feel a number of emotions besides simply fear. Then again, vampires are horror movie royalty, with a rich history going all the way back to the Silent Age. 1932's White Zombie, with its connection to traditional Haitian beliefs, was the first true zombie feature, but there have been a number of stone-cold classics in the vampire movie genre as well. From Nosferatu to Interview with the Vampire to the iconic Universal film Dracula.
I am Dracula.
Films from Francis Ford Coppola and the folks at Britain's Hammer Studios excelled at bringing Dracula to the screen during the modern era, inserting a hefty helping of blood and skin to keep audiences coming back for more. Then again, there's also the Twilight series, which replaces the fear and mystery with sparkles. Although the vampire's complex nature makes this a close one, Romero's work alone adds a certain gravitas that even the best vampire movies can't really touch. Winner, Zombie.
If you don't get yourself a club or a torch, beat 'em or burn 'em, they go up pretty easy.
Round 3, Fright Factor. There's just something intrinsically romantic and tragic about the vampire and the melancholy bubbling away just below their surface. The vampire never grows old and never dies, so it stands to reason that watching the world age around them might make even the hardest bloodsucker feel a little bit lost and depressed. There's also the natural allure and sexuality that have always surrounded the vampire within pop culture.
And all I want to do is suck.
Although not every vampire is portrayed with an intense sexuality, the eroticism of the modern vampire, as well as their well-dressed aristocratic forebears, means that we're often lulled into a false sense of security by them, and we don't realize it until it's too late. There might be nothing more frightening than seeing a loved one torn to pieces in front of you by a horde of marauding, vicious undead ghouls, except a loved one tearing you to pieces as a member of that zombified horde. There's just no winning with this one. The zombie is a horrifying reflection of the human race, a reminder of how selfish and violent we can behave when pushed to the extreme. This feeling is amplified when we see how quickly society can devolve when faced with zombies. Plus, their decayed appearance and persistent, insistent shuffling is just plain creepy. We gotta say, slow-moving ghouls that'll tear you limb from limb are scarier than sexy vampires. So, this round goes to the zombies. Winner, zombies. Round 4, famous characters.
You're a wise man, Van Helsing.
It's a name you've heard before, but it bears repeating. Count Dracula. This vampire.
I bid you welcome.
Count Dracula is a versatile character with an evergreen appeal to audiences. There's also Nosferatu's Count Orlok, played with devastating creepiness by Max Schreck, and then in the 1979 remake by Klaus Kinski, as well as Tom Cruise's Lestat, all characters with personality and charm to spare. Meanwhile, there have been very few specific zombie heroes or villains to speak of. Bub from Romero's Day of the Dead and Frankenstein's monster are two notable exceptions to this rule, although it's arguable whether the latter is a zombie at all. But overall, these undead beings are scarier when they're part of a faceless, unstoppable horde, not due to character development or personality. After all, the zombie's intrinsic nature is that of a brainless or animated killing machine. Since zombies don't really have any cognitive functions left other than move, feed, kill, vampires have the edge in this neck-and-neck 4th round. Winner, vampires. Real-life probability.
Hello!